Karen and I have a small garden on the side of our home, and we grow cucumbers, among other things, tomatoes and other vegetables and flowers. And every year, several times during the year, we do what we're going to do today on video. We make a batch of pickles. And normally I post videos about motorcycles and model airplanes, trains. About once a year we post a video about something Karen's doing in the kitchen. Today she's making pickles. I came out here, picked the latest of the cucumbers, and we're going to get inside and make some pickles. But first, some tips that'll help you grow good cucumbers and things we've learned the hard way. Cucumbers are one of the easiest plants to grow, and they produce very well. We use about 1/3 new organic soil each year in the containers. These are all container grown. The flowers, as soon as we see flowers, we know we're going to have cucumbers, but it's important that the bees pollinate them. Without the bees, you don't get any cucumbers. And an ideal size is right in between. This one is a little big, that one's a little small. I haven't picked it yet. It's good as you pick a few each day. We get 8 to 10 a day. Store them in the refrigerator. And we'll prep up all the ingredients we're going to need here. Karen's been getting everything ready. And we're going to show how we do our pickles. So the first step is we have to know how many pounds of cucumbers we have. And we basically are going to have 5 pounds for this batch that we're making. A relatively small batch, but it'll go very quickly. So the formula that Karen uses is for 1.5 pounds of cucumber. So we decided we're going to multiply everything by 4, and we'll have a little bit of extra juice. I'll call it juice for pickling juice at the end, and we're going to do some radishes and some other vegetables. So this is the formula that we're going to use for, and over the years we've altered this a little bit in several ways, but this is basically the formula to do 5 pounds of cucumbers. I guess you could print that out. Now there's an ideal size for the cucumbers if you're accurate and you can get them all exactly the same size. Here's, I'm a little bit smaller than my hand. The ones that are bigger don't seem as tasty to me and to Karen over the years. We've kind of bypassed these and tried to get them all about this size to get the best flavor. So of course, because they come from outside, we're going to wipe each one down before we cut it. Wipe it down and dry it, and then we'll be ready. I sharpened all of the knives that we're going to use on this job, so because I'm the one that's going to have to cut them. So first, we get rid of the end, just a minimum amount. And what did we decide the ideal thickness was?
About 1/4 inch.
About 1/4 inch? Okay. I know one year we made them a little bit too thin, and one year a little too thick, but we've kind of figured out that 1/4 inch. And sharp knives, I sharpened all the knives that we're going to use on this. There's several different things that are critical, and sharp knife is one of them. Then there's our 5 pounds of cucumbers, the overage ends that are cut off, and we're ready to chop onions. Okay, so what are you doing here with the onions?
I'm taking the onions apart.
Just peeling it apart, taking them apart?
First I slice them.
Okay. Slice them and then pull the little layers apart. Let's see what that looks like. Okay. And how many pounds of this do you do? 3 onions?
4 cups of onions.
4 cups of onions. Next ingredient, 6 tablespoons of kosher salt. Okay, so we're going to mix this in and then put it in the fridge for 1.5 hours.
Yep.
With the salt on it. Okay, we got to mix this in with a wooden spoon. Give me the wooden spoon. Now that's going to sit in the fridge, the salt and the sliced cucumbers for 1.5 hours. So now we're going to start to mix 4 cups of sugar to start. This is when it really starts to get to be fun. Next ingredient, white distilled vinegar. And between the onions and the vinegar, it smells like pickles. Next is 2 cups apple cider vinegar. Okay, after the apple cider vinegar, how much is this? 1 cup?
1 cup.
1 cup of brown sugar.
Light brown sugar. Light
brown sugar? Okay. Next ingredient, yellow mustard seed. Okay, 2 tablespoons. Next ingredient, 2 teaspoons of celery seeds. Next ingredient, a half teaspoon 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric.
Okay.
Okay, the next step is just bring this up to a boil, and I kind of just stir it a little bit as it's coming up to temperature. Okay, so this is off the stove now after boiling, and it's going to sit here for an hour before we go to the next step. So after sitting in the fridge an hour and a half, we're going to wash this in cool water, run it through a colander so that we have all the salt off of the cucumbers. That's the next step. And we have all the ingredients here. This is the onions that Karen has peeled and separated. So after an hour and a half of sitting in salt, I stir this up while rinsing it with cold water. Try to get all the salt off as much as possible. Put it through a colander, ordinary colander. Rinse the bowl as much as you can. Again, I want to get as much of the salt or all of it off. The salt has already done its job. Clean the pan. We're going to use the pan again. Put it back in there. And we get the rest of the ingredients ready for the final mix. And the final mix, putting the what I call the juice in, and the onions and the cucumbers, and stirring it up a little bit either by hand or just by rotating it. And this is going to sit out in the open, ambient temperature, for an hour. All right, you're going to stir it for a little while before we let it sit. It's going to sit for an hour, then we're going to put it in ball jars. And ooh, it smells good.
Yeah, it smells like pickles.
Smells like pickles. What a coincidence. So all that's left is to fill the jars. This is the hard part. And then top it off with the extra juice. Oh, the smell in here. It smells like we're inside a pickle jar, baby.
You are.
We are.
You are.
And they really do look delicious. And the smell. When you make pickles, the smell in the house, you are in a pickle jar. So from this point on, these are going to go into the refrigerator for 24 hours before we share them and eat them, of course. And we got 9 ball jars from 5 pounds of cucumbers, and we would typically have that amount about every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, depending on how the things are grown. And it looks like we're going to have a banner year. So I hope you did enjoy the video. Go make some pickles. So before the video ends, I wanted to mention on my channel, there's 3,000 plus videos. Not many of them include cooking issues, but there's one really good one about making homemade borscht that I think is really good. We have a great video if you search the channel Paris to Normandy, and among other things, motorcycle videos, painting, customizing, doing all kind of things, model train videos. It's a very eclectic channel, and model airplane videos. But this video is about making pickles, and I hope, once again, you did enjoy it. And hit the like button if you did, and thanks so much, guys, for watching.